Matthew questioned you because he wanted you to do something more important than be an outstanding cardiologist. He wanted you to be something like an OBGYN. Actually, these guys are the witty ones, and I'm not going to be saying anything funny. I want to echo Peter's sentiments, Maureen. We are all so grateful for how you cared for Billy. We do. I can validate his repeated assertions about how much he loved you. Couldn't imagine being without you. The same goes for the boys. I'm Johnny, I go by Jonathan Gordon, otherwise, but the diminutive Johnny goes along with the name Billy. Many of you know Billy Buchanan as Bill. His late mother, Rita, called him Billy, and those of us who knew him as a child called him Billy. The two felt like he was my brother. He was a brother to so many people. And that'll be even more evident as this ceremony goes on, but we all felt that way. And I too was literally exactly a couple months older than he was. But he was my big brother, not just because he was so much taller. I too have known Billy since kindergarten. Grew up right across the street. We played together on a daily basis. Lovely Rita was my second mother. Billy was multi-talented from elementary school until his profession as a master math teacher, all the way. His father was also multi-talented, Stuart Buchanan. I want to say I always thought of Rita, not just as an art collector, I thought of her as an artist. Her home was filled with art, she made art, and as the quote, the excerpt from Billy's statement at her funeral, he credited her with teaching him to appreciate and value beauty. She created beauty, not just in her artwork, but in her son, Billy, and daughter, Sandy. She did more. Somehow she inspired a passion for justice and equality. I remember Billy telling me the story, and I won't go into any of the details, but how his mother stood up against a neighbor's anti-Semitism. And Bill was so quiet as a child. He's always amazed us at being this fiery, passionate advocate for others' rights the rest of his life. Billy and Sandy have lived their lives consistent with those deeply held values. Family lives, their professional lives, their social lives have revolved around equality and justice. And while I admired the seriousness of his commitment, I so enjoyed his fun-loving nature. He was always fun. He played a great deal of ball. Billy was always the tallest, fastest, strongest, most graceful of all of us. Sorry, guys. Yet he was also the gentlest. He fought the good fight. It was only at the end that his illness robbed him of the great muscles and strength that he had. He had such powerful, defined legs, if you knew that, and he expressed just recently his frustration that he had lost that physical prowess. So he was worried about running another race when he was barely able to walk. He always remained strong of mind and spirit. Life doesn't seem just. It's full of loss and grief, contradiction, full of beauty and wonder. We know what a beautiful and wonderful person Billy was. He was driven, yet humble, quiet, but passionate. As I said, he was strong and yet gentle, serious and fun-loving, passionate and tender. He was so quiet, yet at the same time he laughed so much. He was so expressive with his words and his actions. Always exhibited great sportsmanship, as well as grace as an athlete, from running track, playing football, basketball, and baseball, tennis, cycling, frisbee. He loved playing games, anything from hearts to chess, just playing catch. We had so many wonderful conversations while throwing a ball around, often communicating without the need for words. It was unspoken, but we knew that for some of us, playing catch is another means of expression, a form of intimacy, I confess. Let me attempt to share one of the lasting images I have of Bill. Earlier this year, it was Valentine's Day weekend. My wife Paula and I had the good fortune of spending it here in Chicago, in Evanston. Indeed, we had the pleasure to attend a dance class with Bill and Maureen. Billy insisted that I bring my wife Paula, and Billy still went to that dance class, even though his feet were then so sore, and he stood so tall and proud. And Maureen, graceful herself, holding one of Bill's hands, his other hand was on her hip, her other hand on his shoulder. They looked at their feet as they practiced the waltz and other dances. But then, just magically, they were not looking at their feet. They were gazing tenderly in each other's eyes, like out of a movie. And they were just gracefully gliding across the dance floor, so they were professionals. Playing catch cannot compete with that form of intimacy. They were so loving as they danced, and that image of true intimacy, I just wish you all could have witnessed. And as they maneuvered through the complex steps of cancer, Maureen was there for every shuffle and dip, twirl, every high and low. Looking in Bill's eyes, on the dance floor and in the home, comforting him, sustaining him with her love. And he kept dancing for you too, Maureen. On that day, Bill then made Paula and me dance. He gave us a lesson, teaching us how traversing the dance floor could sustain a marriage. Again, I wish you all could have witnessed them dancing, their grace, their tenderness, Bill's teaching. He was so genuine, so passionate about fighting racism and sexism, anti-Semitism, and other forms of intolerance, but he backed up his beliefs by speaking out and through his actions. And we admired him for how he kept to his convictions. There was nothing phony about Bill. His genuineness was palpable and admirable. He was truly our hero. To so many of us, Billy was the dearest of friends. It is true to say that he touched the lives of so many people. All of you here are a testament to that truth. He also enriched and changed lives as he sought to make the world a better and more just place. Bill produced justice in his life with his words and deeds. He left a legacy of passion and compassion, of integrity and equality, of friendship and love, especially for Rita and Sandy, Bill, of course Maureen, and you, Nolan, Aaron, and Kyle, and for all of the Rooters, and Whitneys, and Buchanans, for all of his students over the years, for all of his friends. Billy was our friend and our teacher. He has been our master teacher, invaluably instructing all of us how to live and die with dignity. His legacy is for all of us to employ his precious gift of love. It's a gift he gave all of his life. With his tears and words and his eyes, he provided it even at the very end, in the depths of despair, as he rose above his pain, to teach all of us to do what he had always done, to treat each other and everyone with equality and dignity, with kindness